or at least that's what my mom calls me. You can call me Zoop. You can also call me Supriya if you want to. Like, really, it's cool.
So what do you prefer? Do you prefer Zoop or do you prefer Supriya?
I don't know. Like on the one hand, they're kind of like two separate people, but on the other hand, they're not. Um, I like Zoop, but I like remembering that I'm Supriya at the same time.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can't forget Supriya because Supriya informs Zoop. Um, so that's why I remember both.
Fair enough. As for me, I'm Juan, and that's about it. Um, yeah, I mean that's how I go. Then I've I figured out the name Natural Juan was funny, and that's
It's
kind of why I stuck to it.
hilarious. I love it so much.
So yeah, that's kind of why I stuck to it. But anyway, so how are you?
I'm doing good. I think it's been a decent week. How about you?
Oh,
Have you
good.
played any games?
Yeah, yeah. I got back to playing Delta Green on Wednesday, which it's my system. Delta Green is my go-to, and it was a ton of fun. We're recovering from the death of a character, and we were getting to the end of a specific portion of the book, so it was quite good. It was quite fast and furious and very mind-bending. So anybody who has played Impossible Landscapes will know exactly what I'm talking about. It is such a fun operation to run. How about yourself? Have you been gaming?
What games did I get to play today? I We started our high level D&D mini campaign, um which was very cool. That is, I'm playing 8 levels of cleric arcana
Hmm.
domain and 8 levels of rogue
Okay.
mastermind, um and also she's a Harangon, so she jumps, and it's been interesting. She is very smart, has
Hmm.
very, like that's where the good is, like her strengths are, like her intelligence, or her perception, insight, and investigation is like 24, 23, 25, or something like that. Like
Okay.
the passives. So
Yeah.
she's really high up there. um and I was a little worried that it was going to be so much combat that those things wouldn't play a role, but there is definitely a lot
Hmm.
of puzzling to it. I caused an experienced DM to freeze because I brought up poop science, which um okay, so I just need to go on a quick tangent. Poop science is
I
extremely interesting. Um, Through the science of like studying poop, we can do all sorts of things. Like if we find reserves of the shit of ancient civilizations, we can learn a lot about their day to day lives in terms of like what they ate, in terms of like how good their health was, in terms of like did they
hmm.
have any like were diseases raging around that time or whatnot. So that's really cool. You can, like, you can tell the health of an animal based on its poop. You can, yeah, definitely come in right there. You're muted though.
What the? Hi.
Hi. Okay. So we're talking poop science, and the like how interesting poop science is. Like you can use it to tell like the health of a human that you're studying. You can use it to, like, with its decay and stuff like that. You can like determine how long it's been there, and that could tell you like how many people, like how long ago somebody was at a campsite, or like it could tell you how many people there are at a campsite by like doing some calculations. Like there is so much, and like people use it to track infectious diseases. Like they study wastewater to determine like what diseases, like what infectious diseases are currently raging their way through a population. So poop science is so cool. And that's not even getting into like gut science, which can actually have like a huge amount to do with like your gut microbiome can have a huge amount to do with like your brain, your mental health, your weight, your just like your overall health, all of that. So anyways, we got to an empty village, and I was like, cool, I would like to use poop science to make some determinations of like how long ago was this village emptied out, and you know, like were they more of an agrarian society, or were they more of like a, you know, a meat eating society? Like what do we have going on? And it definitely my GM was like, what?
Poop science.
Poop science.
I would 100% give it to your character as a skill.
Oh yeah, he did. He just he
Arcana,
So
general knowledge, poop science.
I don't know if any of you have heard of the game Troika. There is a game named
Yes.
Troika. I adore Troika. Troika has one of the funnest skill systems I've ever seen, because literally anything can become a skill. So like I played a character, like one of the first times I played, my character and the rest of us almost drowned in an elevator because we pissed off a water creature. So it was like, I'm gonna drown you. To be fair, I was playing a very angry child. Like literally, the class is called Angry Child, and like their whole shtick is their parents were killed by demons, so they're just angry and demon hunters now. Um, so my character tried to kill this NPC, and then it tried to drown us. So I was like, okay, I hold my breath, and they were like, we'll add it to your sheet now because breath holding is in fact a skill.
Okay.
So like you could absolutely have poop science as
I
a
know.
skill.
I should demand that that's added to my character sheet as expertise. That's actually to me
That's a great idea. You should do it.
one of the
I will
things
back you
about-
up on that. If your GM is watching this, you need to add poop science as a skill.
Yes, that's actually one of the underutilized features of D&D. I feel like is just real quick. I know we don't talk about D&D that much, but like the fact that you can add other skills under the skill tree, so you can be like, oh, like, you know, maybe you're not like the smartest, you're not the sharpest knife in the box, but like you're really good at plants, so like do plants separately, and like, you know, give that expertise. Or like I also feel like a lot of times DMs fail to take into account, because like these skills are so general, they fail to take into account like the specific situation. So like someone might be like really socially not that great, but they live in a village where like everybody is super supportive and like super into them. So like when they're there, they should be rolling, you know, either they should be rolling charisma checks with like expertise or with advantage or something like that. So I've, you know, I suggest you spice up your gameplay like that if you play D&D.
Yeah.
So we have kind of touched upon it.
Sorry. What a place to come into. I'm reeling.
So,
Listen, in another game, I did pick up an extra skill called trash can.
okay, I want to know about trash can now.
Yeah, I'm curious.
It's I was playing Monsters and Other Childish Things, where we all played, I think we were like 8-year-olds or 10-year-olds or something like that. And my character, over like 3 different sessions, used a trash can for various things. Used a trash can to hit somebody, used a trash can to catch something, used a trash can as a shield. So I got the skill trash can.
I love
No,
it.
that makes sense. Yeah, it's a versatile skill.
Yeah.
So
It's like improvised weapon, but better.
Yes,
So-
exactly.
while we are on the topic of character crafting, let's go into that a bit more.
Yes.
All right. So
My idea. I'm
We-
so sorry, y'all.
Oh no, we were just vamping until you got here.
we didn't want to start talking about it until you got here because it would be a bit shit if you come up with the idea and then we don't talk about it, and then we talk about it without you. So character crafting. So because it was your idea, Misfit,
Oh,
where do you
fuck
want to
me.
start with this?
Yeah.
I'm I don't know. I wasn't
Okay.
prepared
So I'll
to be
give
put
you,
on
I'll
the
give you
spot
some
like
options. I'll give you some options. When you say character crafting, do you want to talk more about like how long your backstory is? Do you want to talk more about like how you decide personality traits?
I think
Do you
it's
want
like
to talk more about like what comes first, the mechanics or the character for you?
ooh, all really good questions. I would say D, all of the above. Because
Okay.
I think character crafting is such a multifaceted thing.
Yes.
And it's also important to note when character crafting to craft a character that is good for the setting that you're going to be playing in, because sometimes I do this. I have this issue where I'll make a character and I'll fall in love with that character, and then I will just try to shoehorn that character into any game,
Yeah.
and that doesn't always fucking work.
No, definitely
It's
not.
not a good idea. It's you're setting yourself up for failure, and I've done it multiple times. And then that's, the friendly talk with your storyteller, your GM or whoever, and be like, so can we kill this character so I can bring in a new one? Because
Yeah.
like they're not vibing with this game. But
I've
like
had that
I mean-
problem.
So let's take it right to the beginning then. How about that?
Okay.
How about we go right to the beginning? I've set up a game. System right now is irrelevant. We'll discuss that in due time.
later.
But right now, I've got a game that you were both signed up for. You've been given sort of a brief guideline of character creation. So where do you start? Where do we start
Vibe.
with character creation?
What's my
Vibe.
character's vibe? What's
Okay.
what's their personality like? Are they kind of shy? Are they bold? Are they happy-go-lucky? What's their overarching vibe? Because that's gonna really depend on how I build them out, like stat wise. Because I'm and I have several storytellers that can attest to this now. I role play very close to my character sheet. Like
So what how do you decide your vibe? Do you like roll a die? It's what you're feeling at the moment?
usually I have myself twisted up in some weird yoga position and it'll like come to me.
Okay.
Fair enough.
In all honesty. Like and that's kind of true with a lot. I've had character like voices come to me while I was doing yoga. Like I have this one character that I played forever ago on stream named Wick. And I was doing yoga one morning and I was like, you know what? Wick needs to have a French accent. And so I just perfected my French accent because, like, why not? He's a bougie bard, or not bard. I play him like a bard, but he's definitely a rogue. But yeah, it's
All right.
usually I'll start with a vibe and then I will go into
You'll pick your
the
mechanics based on.
backstory and then my mechanics. My mechanics usually
Yeah.
come last. It's very, very rare for me to do mechanics first and then character, like filling
So-
out everything else.
I think that's so interesting because I am the exact opposite.
You mechanics first and then
I
character.
mechanics first, and then I look at the mechanics that I've chosen. This especially works well in a game where either there are class choices and everybody else has chosen their class, and I choose from what's left over. Or if there is like a rolling mechanic to determine like what your your skills or abilities
Mhm.
are, like your core traits. um I use that, and like maybe I choose like the things that are interesting to me, or I start seeing a pattern with what I'm choosing, and then I think, who would
Mm,
who would have these skills? Like, what kind of person would end up at the end
mm,
of the day with these mechanics?
Mhm, mhm.
mm.
That makes
Um,
sense.
like, what is
I used
the
to do that quite a lot in Pathfinder First Edition.
yeah?
Oh god,
Tell us
first
more.
edition you kinda had to.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Because if you took anything for flavor, you were fucked.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
Yeah. Because like, you just wasted a thing, and, like, that thing's probably gonna come bite you in the
Yeah,
ass in, like, an episode.
yeah. You had you. It was a system designed for power gaming.
Yes.
Um, oh, I will say designed for power gaming. That's just what was the end result. It was a power gaming sort of trip. So you had to kind of build efficiently and then kind of go, right, I need to be able to justify this
Mhm.
yeah, I think
now. Mm,
Pathfinder is definitely one of those games where you want to understand what the GM is, what kind of game they're planning.
Oh, yeah. Pathfinder is the system that made me realize how important asking, like, setting what's the setting? What's the rating of this game? Because, like, let me fucking tell
mm,
you, I've made light fluffy bean characters for, like, an NC-17 game. That don't, like,
No.
not good idea. Um, so, like, Pathfinder First Edition is really what got me to ask those kind of questions, and
mm.
being comfortable with being like, "Oh, this table isn't for me. Have
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go that way."
but also like
Mm,
the things that Pathfinder, at least I haven't played Pathfinder 1, but Pathfinder 2 second edition, like you could make your character really good at like infiltrating.
Mhm.
But if your game is a dungeon dive, you're gonna be sad.
I mean, it'll work, but it's not gonna
yeah.
be as fun.
Yeah. You're gonna be
Um,
sad when you like accidentally kill your character. Uh
I love how I'm so sorry not to, like, break away, but I'm looking at the chat. What did I miss? Poop science, poop science. So can I take I'm gonna take a picture of this for
yeah.
posterity. I was almost gonna
That's because it's posting to both Twitch and YouTube at the same
yeah.
time. So poop science
Poop
is
science.
going everywhere.
Poop
um
science.
Listen, hit me up anytime and I will just talk about
Well,
the glory.
that's like
Poop
going
science.
to, like, body farms and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
decomposing body farms. It's the same thing, and everyone gets really weirded out when I talk about that. And I'm like, but that's kind of cool. You
It
get to
is
have
really
different
cool.
bodies decompose. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Misfit,
What?
surely there are better conversations for Christmas dinner time.
Are there though? Are there? Like, there's
Surely,
the
surely.
standard, like, coming out because it's Christmas and you want to ruin everything, and I fucking love that. I'm here for that energy. But like, it's better than talking about the state of the world. I would rather
Yeah,
talk
no.
about poop science than anything at this point.
I think, yeah,
Honest,
I think,
so
to be
one of
honest,
the
I could.
things. Oh, go ahead.
No, please, please, we got you riled up on poop science. I'm not stopping that train.
So one of the things I get to do in my job is I get to I we basically get chunks of human colon that somebody has donated to science, and I get to process it into the different parts of it, that
Mm,
so that we can study, like there's so many different layers to it. And I think it's the coolest thing. And what I've noticed is other people, so I'm a vegetarian, and other people they'll like do it and they'll be like, "Oh, this reminds me of like scrambled eggs. Now I can't eat scrambled eggs. Or they'll be like, this reminds me of like a juicy steak. Now I can't eat juicy steak. And I'm like, doesn't remind me of anything because I don't eat that stuff. Like I don't mind. And it's uh
I've never seen an aubergine look like that.
and I think the other thing about it that the reason I find it so cool is there's a consent aspect to it, which is the person who donated this colonic piece uh consented to me doing the things with it. So that's awesome. Whereas like a rat didn't consent. So I really hate doing stuff on rats cuz consent is key.
I appreciate that so
Yeah.
much. Like, no, oh god, you have no idea. I am one of those people who I like literally before we took my pupper to get fixed.
Snip. Yeah.
Um, I was holding her and I was like, "Do you want puppies? Is that something you want? How will I know? Can you consent yes or no?" And like because there's no way to know, I was like, you know what? No, 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 no. I'm not going to put you through that traumatic ass experience.
Right, right.
But like there's that I respect it. I get it on a whole level.
Mm.
Yeah. But back to wait, if we were going
Back to
before
actual
body
character
arms,
creation.
yeah, yeah, character creation. That's right.
So the question I'm asking, because we have because obviously Misfit goes vibe. Zoop, you go mechanics first. Personally, for me, I like concept, and then I build everything
Ooh.
around the concept.
Hmm. I recently
Does
tried that.
your approach change depending on system?
Yes, big time. It also depends on how if
Okay.
I'm playing a long form game or a short form game. So like if I'm playing
Mm,
just a one shot, I will not go as hard on like character
mm,
creation as I would, let's say, for a game that I'm going to be playing for like 3+ years.
100%.
yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I think game matters. It also depends a little bit on again like how much the GM or the storyteller is willing to divulge about what kind of things that you're going to face and how much the other players are willing to talk about what is interesting and important to their character. Um
Mm-hmm.
so
I, I, yes, big yes. Um, Having players talk to their storytellers or GMs or whatever you want to call it, like insert term here, um, and knowing where you want to go with your character is super helpful. Sometimes,
Mm,
however, I am that odd bean where I will just be like, I don't care, fam. Fuck me up. Let's
yeah.
go. I'm just here for the story. I'm here for the ride. Whatever happens, happens. And I
mm,
did that with my girl Aster, where I literally told my storyteller Ty. He was like, "What do you want to do with your character?" And I was like, "I have no idea. I want it to be a surprise. I am here for the ride 100%." And he was like,
mm,
"Oh, okay, sure." And like Aster's been a lot of fun. She's probably my favorite character. Like
mm,
she's in my top 5 favorite characters right now, and I'm not even done with her story.
So I think I do think I generally I do struggle with oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes I struggle with like if a GM asks me like what is the ride that you want your character to go on or like
mm,
what is the end goal for your character because I'm like I I I don't know. I want to I like cuz like to live my life, I can't be like I want my end goal to be this cuz I don't know what life is going to throw at me. So
mm,
like a lot of times I'm kind of like I want my character to just react and grow with whatever is going on in the story. I do find that the more backstory that I give, there is I am more likely to have like an outcome that I want. Or like
Mhm.
mm,
I want I'm more able to say like I really want I really want her to learn how to be an individual, like, um that, you know, relies on herself or whatever. But like generally I've played characters that are, this is one of the ways in which my characters are all very different from me. I
Mm.
spend a lot of time being like, why, God, the universe, whatever, did you put me in this body? Why did you put this in my way? Why did you give me this gift? Like, why? How did I end up here? And my
Mm.
characters, none of my characters have that question. They're all
Yeah.
like, cool, this is my situation. This is what I'm going to do about it. Like, whatever
Mm.
situation I give them with, they're like very, I haven't played a character that's like, that's very why me, woe is me. All of my characters are very like, this is my situation and I'm dealing with it however it takes, and not spending a lot of time crying about it.
Mhm.
Mm.
I also understand that because I too have the like, why the fuck am I on this planet? Like,
Mhm.
why the fuck did you put me here if you weren't gonna just give me everything I need to survive? Sort of mentality. And like that's unhealthy. I'm not talking. I don't want to talk about that. However, my characters.
That's for another podcast.
That's a
Yes.
That's
whole
for an entirely different show.
other. My characters have an. I always give them an aspect of my personality that I want to improve on. So like
Hmm.
Oh,
that is something that I do with every character I
that
have.
is so
Hmm.
cool.
It's Clippy was the one who kind of encouraged me to try that. So I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, why not? I'm gonna try it. Let's go for it. And like now I can't not craft a character without that. It's really
Well,
hard for me.
it's in contrast, I do something similar, but I always add something into my characters, which is a facet of myself that I would like to indulge in more because
Okay.
I'm
Ooh.
not able to do it in real life. So a lot of times it is I'm going to be the extremely sarcastic sort of person, or I'm going to be the very hostile sort of person, because I've got these sort of wants and desires which, because of real life and responsibilities, I'm not really able to indulge in. So a lot of my characters have that element of, okay, so this character is gonna dial into that narcissism that tiny bit more than they should, and become, have that sort of level of, it's a weird sort of self-discovery,
Hmm.
being able to sort of play in these sandboxes with certain elements of yourself that I don't get to enjoy as much.
I think
I love that.
I want to feel secure enough to do that. That is
Mm.
Yes.
not, that is not something that I have found myself in a group, and it's not the group's fault, it's my fault. That I have ever felt secure enough to make a character that isn't completely obsessed with helping their friends, or
I understand
helping,
that.
or helping, like desiring to help others. um and I feel like I there was one time where I made a character, and for a lot of reasons she didn't work. One of the reasons was that all of the other players wanted their characters to be really cerebral, and my character was not.
Mm.
She was pretty dumb, but like we didn't have that conversation where they were like, oh, we all want to be brainy and we all want it to be like puzzles and stuff. And I was like, she's just kind of like, having fun, but like she also wasn't obsessively like, how do I help you guys? How
Mm.
do I help you guys? She's just kind of like bopping along, and like I got burned for that.
Mm.
So I would love to one day be at a table that I feel safe enough to.
So to just had Clippy's just asked a question in chat. going off why I said that a lot of my characters are little indulgent bits of my personality, and he asked about Shepherd, which is my automaton character in GM Mistress Winter's Paris Sand campaign. That is the indulgence I get out of Shepherd is the unwavering logic.
Ooh, I
Mm.
can see
It
that.
is
Yeah.
he doesn't have
Ooh.
the emotional aspect. He doesn't have that tying down. It is very much A plus B equals C. And I kind of try and ride that out to extreme sort of points that it's been fun.
How do the other characters deal with it when you make a choice that is based on logic and not based on their needs?
I can tell you personally, it makes Banshee fucking crazy. But she just kind of deals with it because she has also realized that Shepard is not it is more like her in a way, like maybe not a living plant. Um but definitely more of the you don't understand the world like I do. Maybe in different ways, but we're very different in the same aspect.
we 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 reach a lot of the times we reach the same conclusion, but for very different
Very
reasons.
different reasons. Like Banshee
So
is
like
straight like why can't we just kill them? There's enough humans walking around or human adjacent walking
and
around. One dead isn't going to be a
and
problem.
Shepard's logic is because he is a cleric. He is a cleric who kind of stands up for freedom and honor and everything good. His thing is eradicating evil. So it's not a case of emotion to it. It's a case of this needs ending. This needs to finish. And the one way of finishing that is by ending these people. So again, we reach the same conclusion. We just take a very different route to get there.
Yep.
Clippy said something else. Mouse is just along for the ride and just wants to support his adoptive pack. Have you ever had this goes back to the same game, just it crashed and burned so hard. But my after a while, she one of the characters showed her a lot of compassion and a lot of kindness. So she became basically ride or die for that character, and like that was her goal, was to like protect this person because she hadn't met someone who would be as giving as her.
Hmm.
And the other players were like, your character is so flat because she doesn't have a goal, she doesn't have motivation. And I'm like, my motivation is to like support this person, and like her motivation is to support this person and go with this person. And so have you ever run into that situation? And like
Hmm.
how do you make the character dynamic when they're just along for the ride and don't have like a, you know, end motivation and things like
That's kind
that?
of where the free will comes in.
Hmm.
So like I know for Aster, my sweet little baby vampire, uh she literally did not want to be involved in anything. She got kind of forced into things via familial connection and wrong place, wrong time connection. Um, but she through that she has really found that the group of people that she's with are people that she would kill for. Like I during our break, myself and one of the other players who's in character, her best friend, um, like we've talked back and forth, and she's in this situation, and I'm every time I'm like, "You want me to set him on fire? Because I will." Like, there's ways to solve this fire being one of them is really great, and I can make it in my body. Let's go. But like again, the whole like murder's not acceptable in all situations.
I mean, for me, all my characters are a blank slate.
Mm.
They start out the game and they will learn and they will evolve due to the course of what happens in the game. My previous character before Shepard was Akira, and that was the way I was playing her, and not only from a narrative point of view, but also a mechanical point of view. So she started and she had a level 1 character, but then she met Banshee and she met Toffle, who were more nature inclined. So when she got to level 2, I was like, okay, so I'm going to take the Ranger archetype.
Mm-hmm.
Because the people that are around me, this shared experience has evolved me, and that I like to develop my characters in that way, both motivation wise and mechanically.
Okay, this is interesting. I'm gonna go back to D&D. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Do you think?
Boo.
What do you think about the fact that you have to buy into a class to begin with, even though you don't like get a subtype? So like, what if you start out and you're like a cleric, but then like the players that you're with, like it leads you to think that like you would have been better off as like a ranger? Do you think that a GM could look at that and be like, okay, when you level up, you can actually revert your last level to ranger as well? Because at the very base level, I mean, there are a couple things that are like class specific, but you know,
In Pathfinder, that is a mechanic you can choose. You can retrain.
yes. Yeah, I think
And
it
it is
takes
a
a week.
conversation with the GM.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a week per skill, I think.
I also, if you want to do
For class
trained or something
abilities.
else, yeah.
So it is something that you are able to do. If you're playing in Pathfinder Society, you can rewrite your entire level 1 character if you need.
Cool.
I
I
didn't
support
know
So
that.
you start out,
Huh.
and to be honest, when I've run Pathfinder, I've kind of run it with those rules as well. Although it kind of breaks the narrative a tiny bit, but in a game where the narrative comes secondary to mechanics anyway, it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, I'm such a narrative focused player. Like again, and that's why I play so closely to my stats. Which I find much easier to do in like VTM than I do in like Pathfinder, because like Pathfinder is very crunchy and it makes you like have to think about how each one of your mechanics works with each other. But very much in like any of the lighter systems or like a storyteller system, I'm really good about playing to my stats. I do very few dice rolls. Like I probably roll the least out of everyone in my group, but I can tell a very compelling story within my stats.
What about if you play a game with many fewer stats? Like
Then it's just pure role play at that point. Like for me, so like for example, Troika. Troika has very few stats. I wish I could find one of my sheets readily available so I can show you. That's a Besson sheet. That's my nope, those are all. Anyway, I wish I could find one of them because it's literally like 4 stats, I think. But Troika is such a narrative focused system. Like it's here, tell a story. We're just going to give you the framework on how to tell that story. So like you can play just a one shot of Troika, or you can play a whole campaign of Troika and extend that story out. Like I've played a game of Troika where literally the game stopped because there was a filibuster with an owl court. Yeah. So it depends on what you're doing.
So the reason I asked, so one of my favorite games that I've ever played, and I think I've mentioned it before, is Midnight Codex, where
Mhm.
you're all wizards and you make up your spells. So there's not a spell
That's
list.
cool.
You decide what your spells
Hmm.
are. Um, and so I started out with the spells. I'll see if we have it in the back, which basically, when I cast that, a door appeared and I
Okay.
opened the door. I checked in the back room to see if we have it, and I'd pull out whatever I needed.
That's
So
Hmm.
awesome.
at
That's
one
a cool
point I
spell.
needed a Ghostbuster outfit because we were fighting a ghost. So I opened the back room and hey, there's a Ghostbuster outfit. Put that on along with their little vacuum, and I have that. And then the other I forget if this was the first in my first two spells or later, but you would be cuter as a guinea pig turned anybody she cast that on into a guinea pig. Um because and then beyond that, so you have your spells, and then beyond that you have like a couple traits,
Mhm.
like two positive traits and a negative trait of like whatever you want to make. And like or like a description or whatever, and that's all you have to make your character. And in that case, the character that I made, everybody else made their characters first, and they were all film buffs, or they were all interested in film in one way or another.
Okay.
Like it was getting very movie like, and I don't know that many movies, I'm not great at pop culture, so I was like, I'm gonna play, because we needed like a way to meet. I'm gonna play the cashier at a video place who doesn't know anything about movies. So y'all can like tell me, y'all can tell her all about the movies that you're interested in, but she just like hands you the movie. She's like no good if you're like,
Just like,
what
"Oh,
movie
okay,
should I watch?
cool."
Yeah. And then they were like, wait, why would she have a job at a video store if she doesn't know anything about movies? And I'm like, well, because the owner of the video store hit her dad's car, and her dad was like, I'll let this go if you give my daughter a job because she really needs a job. So
Yeah.
that made her young. That got her to like, she must be like 18, 19, just graduated from high school and isn't going anywhere, and dad's like, this girl needs a job. So like that aspect came in. And then
That's fun.
that's why I had it's I'll check if we have it in the back room, because
Hmm.
she was checking the back room of the movie store. And that became even funnier because after a while it was like, why does the back room of the movie store have all of these things? So then the owner of the movie store ended up being magical in her own way as an
That just sounds batshit insane. That
as an
sounds.
explanation. She also had she eventually got such powers as moon power, turn me into a blank, which is Sailor Moon's power to like turn into like a
Hmm.
flight attendant or a cat burglar or whatever. So
Okay. Yeah,
uh
I can see how that
she
would be useful.
she got that power. I don't she's one of my favorite. Her name is also
One.
Happy Single, and she is a 19-year-old who desperately wants to fall in love with one of the customers of the movie shop.
I'll have
Hopeless
to check
romantic.
out
We
Midnight
love it.
Codex. I'll
I
have to check out Midnight Codex out. It definitely looks interesting. I'll
It
have to
is
give that
mhm.
a
so
whirl.
much fun. It is so much fun.
One character creation method that I did enjoy, and I'm not sold on the system,
Okay.
but the character creation of it, the aspect of it, I enjoyed was cipher,
Mm.
where your character
Mm.
begins as a phrase. I am a blank
Yes,
who
yes.
does blank, and that kind of helps inform the rest of your character. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I mean, like, I'm not a big Cypher fan, despite owning so much of it, but
I have a friend who's like a huge Cypher fan. Um, and
I just
yeah,
can't get on with it. It's, ugh.
I haven't played enough to have a solid opinion of it.
I've
I'm
I
GM'd
also
it a
one of
couple of
those.
times,
That's fair. I
I
am
want
one
but
of
to
those
I
people.
understand.
do like the character creation system. I do. I think it's a really cool way of developing a concept.
Yeah, I like that. There's a thing in V20 that you do, which is you have a character concept, like a story concept, and I
Mm,
fucking love that. So I it's something that I've adopted and that I use kind of like as a generic across the board for all of my
Yeah.
characters
mm.
is to come up with their like overarching concept or like the trope that they're playing too.
Yeah,
Isn't one of the pluses of Cypher that you can change universes really easily?
that is. I think that's the strange.
Okay, that's the strange. Okay.
But to be fair, because Cypher is a universal system, you could technically grab one character and move them to the other with very little change. But I think the strange is a system that's based upon that.
That's
Yes,
so
okay.
fun.
This the strange I wanna play.
That
When
sounds cool as fuck. I want to play.
I played in Tidal Blades, which is a cipher. What would you call it? A cipher.
I've never heard of that. Tidal Blades.
Tidal
Tidal Blade.
blades?
Yeah, it's like an environment or whatever you would call it, like one of the
Hmm.
world settings.
Mhm.
It's one of
Mm,
the
yeah.
a cipher setting, and I was a driven
Mm,
betalode crab mystic who studies anomalies. So that was
nice.
How do you come up with that? Like, what was there?
well, so in cipher it's like they give you lists of things to choose from,
Oh,
and
okay. I understand now.
each of those lists, so like driven was like it's an adjective of some sort, and you have a whole bunch of adjectives to choose from, and you choose one
Mm,
of those adjectives, and that adjective gives you gives you bonuses of some sort.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
like it informs. So driven was an adjective, then betalod is the type of creature I am, so the type of creature also gave um
Mm.
a certain stat things, and then crab mystic, so I decided to
The
go.
crab mystic is what gets me.
Okay,
And it's
so
like
so there was there's like an explorer, there's basically like an explorer, a magic user, and a warrior, I think, are like the three like base classes that you can choose from, and then there are
Mm.
subclasses in there. And so for the magic user, one of the subclasses for Tidal Blades is crab mystic, which is that you were at some point a part of a group of people, of people, I forget which kind of sea animal they were, but they believed in the great crab god, and they needed to sacrifice certain stuff to make sure that the crab god didn't come and destroy the world. So it was a crab mystic.
It
And
sounds pretty reasonable to me, to be fair.
sure.
um
You know.
uh
Um,
another person put
I am
impulsive.
looking at different.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just like looking at different systems and some like different character creation methods. And there's one that I've played and I completely forgot about. Uh, is Warhammer Fantasy role playing, where they reward you for randomizing.
Mhm.
So if you, the
Oh.
more you randomize your character, the more XP you're rewarded with in order to improve your character, which I thought was interesting to say the least.
I like that. I like that. um there was one thing that I was trying to think of. It was something off of Tidal Blades. Oh, um by the way, sort of just side note, um So, one thing that I am trying to figure out is I am trying to figure out what are three systems that I can three systems other than D&D that I can build similar characters to D&D, which is like a ranger, a rogue, a cleric, a wizard, like those kind of like really archetype ones. So like not an artificer,
Yeah.
but like those
Okay,
those
so like the
ones that were like
standard archetypes.
yeah, like
Okay.
the
Okay.
fighter, the wizard, the cleric, like that kind of thing. So they have the ability to make a character in that same way. Um and then it can do high level combats.
I would
So
recommend Fabula Ultima.
Fabula Ultima, Draw Steel is one that has been suggested. I
Okay,
have
so similar to D&D, the obvious answer is going to be Pathfinder, but we'll ignore that because
yeah,
it's too similar.
We're gonna ignore that.
But however, Savage Pathfinder
Savage Pathfinder.
is it's basically what they've done is they have created a Savage Worlds game which does embrace some of the class systems in Pathfinder. So you can take an edge, which is a fighter, and that will give you a certain list of abilities. You're not locked into that, but you are welcome to choose it, and that's what we're currently playing now.
Oh, cool.
In one of my home games, and it's fantastic. It's Savage Worlds, which I'm a huge fan of lately.
A creator of one of a fairly new system that actually would be great for exactly what I'm doing responded to my question about this on Blue Sky with every game, like every other game. And I was like, this
No,
was a great
false.
chance for you
Pause.
to yeah, I was like, this is a great chance for you to shill your game, and B, that's objectively not true because I'm not sure how I would use Wanderhome or Stewpot to play a high level
Right?
combat.
God, could you
Well,
imagine
we all-
trying to
we all
use
know
10
about
candles
the-
for a high level like fantasy combat?
Yeah.
Building a sorcerer in Alice is Missing.
God. Uh-huh. I was about to say
Yeah,
Blades
that's
in the Dark, but you could probably do a lot with Blades in the Dark. So like, JK.
You can, but still, you can't really emulate those sort of things. You can probably build them granularly, but you can't emulate. I mean, another one I would think of if you're more into your PBTA sort of games is Choosing Adventure.
Ooh, Choosing Adventure.
Yeah,
I
that's
should
a
write
good
that
one.
down.
Or I mean, there's also oh my God, what is it called? I know the creator too. Sagas.
Oh yeah. Sagas
Sagas,
was
yeah.
also on my list. So the idea, I'm gonna let y'all know this, but don't take my idea. I'm making this happen.
Listen, listeners, don't take that idea.
Don't take that idea. So
Don't take it.
basically, the characters are going to end up in a fight with let's say Tiamat, because Tiamat has 5 heads.
Yeah.
Right? And each head that they fight is in a different system. So they beat one head. They beat one head in D&D. And you know, it goes down and then it levels up or whatever. Like think about any of those boss fights that have 3 or 4 different
oh my God, the different rounds.
The different rounds. So it will drop and come back as the next head in a different system. All of their skills are refreshed.
So they can play like different things, or are they playing
no, they're
same
playing the same character.
Okay.
They're playing the
just
same
in a different system.
In a different system. And the idea is that at the end of the day, it would be a really cool, like 3-hour example of how the same fight looks different in different systems.
I fucking love that.
Do not take it.
Cool.
I am doing it. I will hunt you down.
I will come for you and kick you in the knee. I will. Do not take this. I want to
But
see this happen.
No,
this is something that I'm
That's
working on
epic.
doing.
That's really cool.
I love mechanics.
that's a cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I
Yeah, I
will.
like that. When you have it set up, let us know what systems you've chosen. Let us know what
Yeah.
systems you go.
And
with.
And why?
I'm glad
And
you
why?
said,
I want to
and
know
I'm
the
glad you
whys.
said the PBTA, because one of the things that I want to balance as I'm choosing it is games, because I started writing down like what are the different mechanics of a fight, because there's like turn order or initiative. That
Mm.
is one aspect of a fight. What is your action economy is another another part of the fight. There were a couple other things, like how do you keep track of, like, how much you can do, like spell slots,
Yeah.
or like you can only do action surge so many times, and things like that. And then how do those things all affect, and obviously I'd want the same players who all have, so that they're bringing the same scale of storytelling to each fight,
Mm.
so that's the same, so that, and I definitely want Powered by the Apocalypse to be one of them. It'll be a shorter, I think it'll be a shorter fight than the D&D fight, because
Yeah.
PBTA fights are much shorter.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
I'm kind of in support of you using the Savage Finder, or like, what is it? Like Savage
Savage
Pathfinder.
Pathfinder.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
support that, because I think that would be really good for audiences to see.
And that is
Nor-
swingy as fuck.
Nor do I think you should do it in Pathfinder, because like that
Oh, yeah,
combat's
no.
gonna take 4 hours.
Pathfinder and D&D are too close. That's why I'm looking for things that like vary in those various things. Like one of the systems that I think would have been really fun to do it in is Exalted. The problem
Oh
is
my
that
God.
Exalted doesn't
Oof.
lend to Ranger
Ooh.
and all of
Yeah.
those, and Exalted is
Hmm.
specific to that world, is specific to
Yeah.
creation.
I double dare you to do it in Rollmaster.
And Rollmaster, what is Rollmaster?
What is wrong with you?
Roll-
Why would you suggest that?
Because Rollmaster, when run properly, is fucking glorious.
Okay,
I'm
I'm gonna
a
check
huge-
this
emphasis
out.
on the one.
I will never run Rollmaster just because of its complexity, but when it's run properly, it is a fantastic system. Lethal as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I do need my characters to live.
Put it this way, my wizard fucked a spellcasting roll and put himself in a coma for 6 months.
Oh god.
But it was good. It was good.
But
another one. Wow.
Exalted has been like
Yeah.
some of the most beautiful like fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, moving on. Go
Does
ahead.
Outgunned have a high fantasy version? Because that would be a good one.
I mean, you could really do it in the Warhammer Fantasy setting.
Yeah, you may as well do Rollmaster at that point.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I like Fabula Ultima is the big one that I can think of. You can also do it in Daggerheart, because Daggerheart is kind of set up to be more narrative like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just have to figure out, because I know Daggerheart does the thing where it goes to it messes with initiative in an interesting way, where like if you roll with fear, it goes to the GM to make a move and then back again or something like that. So I do like the fact that it messes with initiative.
Yeah. That's a hard one. I'm gonna have to rack my brain and like let me ask a few people, because I don't know a lot of systems, but I have access to people who literally have mental libraries of different systems. So like,
Yes.
let me ask around a bit. because it is a cool idea, and I do want to see you do that.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, I want to
It
see
is a
that.
very cool idea. I'm interested. I'm invested in this. I think that is something that'll be keep us posted on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
I'm very excited about this idea. I have to just find the right 5 systems.
No, yeah. I mean, like I say, I'm definitely invested in that.
Mm-hmm. 5 systems. Oof.
All right. Okay, so all right, back to our character creation.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we've got
So sorry.
we've got our system. We've got our we've kind of discussed systems. We've kind of discussed where we start. All right. Backstory or motivations? Which do you think informs
Backstory
your
first.
character?
Because
Okay.
my backstory is going to affect my motivations. Unless, and I've experienced this very recently, where something happens in like my character's introduction that derails fucking everything that they were going to do. And it has caused me to think of like, oh, okay, well, she's going to pursue that. She like fuck everything that she was going to pursue. This is now what she is. And it literally is going to force me to shift how I was going to build her, like, and level her out and stuff like that. So there are like things that will cause me to change my mind, but typically I do backstory first, because my backstory is going to affect how I stat out my character. It's going to affect how I play them. It's going to affect a lot of things. So I do backstory first, and then I use that as a framework of like personality and stuff like that.
So how long is your backstory normally?
Depends on the character. So like Aster's backstory is several pages. She lived a very interesting life. You'll all find out real soon. Real soon. Her prologue is dropping very soon.
Looking forward to it.
Couple weeks.
She's a vampire though, right?
Yeah. Well, technically she's a thin blood.
So is she
for
how
someone
like
who
how
doesn't play
old is she?
VTM?
So she's 28 and she will forever be stuck in 28.
But
I have
like
this
how many
tendency-
years has she lived?
as a vampire? Not
Yeah.
even a year yet.
Oh, okay.
So she's a little baby vampire who's gotten thrown into a serious situation. Like her prologue, which is dropping in a couple weeks, actually has her embrace in it, which is very special, and I love it. But like her backstory is the reason that she is in this situation in the first place. If she had not done what she had done, she wouldn't be rotting away in a city called fucking San Arroyo.
So when you do backstory, do you write it like a novel?
Yes.
Do you okay?
Yeah. I have like a handful of questions that I'll ask throughout the creation portion, but I do kind of write it out like a story, like a full, like if you read it, this is a full story of her and like everything that she has been through.
So if you weren't to write it, sorry, just quick question. If you weren't to write it out as a story, but instead like a list of bullet points of experiences, how long would it be?
Pre or post embrace? If we're talking about Aster.
I just in general, like when you're writing the backstory.
It's anywhere between like, I would say
like 10 bullet points, 20 bullet points.
Somewhere between 10 and 20.
Okay.
And that depends on how deep I want to go into the character. What were you gonna say, Juan?
Yeah.
So while we're on the topic of like backstories and VTM, I was prepping a character for a VTM game, and my backstory, because my backstories are a couple of sentences, which are very brief. This happened, and then I talk with the GM as the campaign's going on to kind of flesh it out if needed. But the basic for this character, was he was an emo kid who wanted to be a werewolf and went into the wrong club. So he's a vampire who hates himself
Because he wanted to be a werewolf.
because
He
he wanted to
to
be
go
a
to the werewolf club.
Why did
And
he go to the fucking emo club then?
because he was in the wrong place. He knew about, he heard about a party. There was something going on, and he thought, "Oh, there they'll be." And no, he got turned into a vampire, and he fucking hates it.
Damn. I mean,
Yeah.
so does Aster, in all fairness. Being a vampire has not been good to her.
So yeah, that was my VTM character that never got played.
Yeah, I like to. I usually my backstories are pretty short. I think the longest backstory I had was like a page and a half. Um, because I like to find out a lot of it as I'm playing.
That's fair.
And like I figure things out like when I was playing, I think I said this already, but like when I was playing Monsters and Other Childish Things, my character, she kept doing things that I was like, why would these things occur to this 8-year-old to do? Like, why would she take a soccer net and use it to like trap somebody? Why would this occur to her? And then I was like,
I
oh,
don't know. I think that's an 8-year-old thing. I mean,
but
8-year-old me
like
would kind of
there
go,
was a
"This
bunch
would be
of
funny."
shenanigans. There was a bunch of shenanigans like that. And I was like, oh, her uncle watches wrestling.
That's good. I like that though. I like that. That's a good sort of
Like that, but I couldn't have decided that beforehand. That was only afterwards where I'm like, what is the explanation for why she keeps thinking of these ridiculous things to do?
I mean, for me, I keep them short because then I'll start asking the GM as the campaign goes on. So Edgar's initial thing was he was in an accident when he was young, and that's it. But then as the campaign kind of goes on, it's like, so where could this accident have happened?
Mhm.
You know, and I will suggest things that the GM will kind of take and move on and create their story around that, because my character, he wouldn't know the entire story, but the GM would. So it was a case of, okay, so let's come up with a town where he's from, and etc. So that's why I kind of like to keep them short, but at the same time decisive. You know,
That makes sense.
he was born into poverty. He had an accident, or etc. etc. And I'll just keep it like that, and then from there, I kind of flesh it out as the campaign goes along.
I will say, as someone who writes big backstories and that's not all the time. I have some characters where I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. And those are typically characters that I kind of I go into the campaign being like, I have no idea what I want to do with this person. So let's just go and we'll figure it out along the way. But as someone who does write a lot and does do like big, well thought out and like probably too well thought out sometimes backstories, that is a trap. It is. Do not trap yourself so hard into your backstory.
Yeah, agreed.
Because that is a huge pitfall. I have fallen into it multiple times where I've written out this beautiful backstory and I was like, oh man, I love this character. And like then I go to play them and I'm like, I don't love this character as much as I thought I did, because like I pigeonholed myself into my own backstory. So there is something to be said about leaving it a little loose.
Yeah. If you leave room for evolution,
Questions.
or
Yeah.
room for questions, even questions that you don't necessarily know the answer to. I think my first character had about 6 pages of backstory, and ever since then it was like, I can't be fucked, because it never came up. Like it was just a backstory that I'd put so much into it. I'd created cities, I'd created a royal family, I created everything around this character, and it was never mentioned again. So I went, you know what? Fuck this.
Yeah. It And it sucks when that happens. It feels really bad because you're just like, well, I put in all this effort. Why isn't it being brought up? And like,
Mhm.
really, it's because you put in that, you chose to do
Yeah.
that. And then like forcing that on other people is not necessarily the correct way to go about it. Um,
Have you ever encountered players that use their backstory in order to cheat?
yes, yes, I have. It is a wild experience.
What does
I've
that
had
mean?
I've had people
So
be like, "Oh, well, in my backstory, my character was a thief and a cheat and a liar, so like this is just natural for them, and you should give it to them because it's part of their
so
backstory. It's what they would
for
do."
exa-
I'm like,
for example, let's say I create a Pathfinder character. In my backstory, I put that they can speak Abyssal
Mhm.
as an example, but in my character sheet, I do not add that as a skill. And then they're turning around to the GM and kind of going, "Yeah, but in the backstory, it says he
in
learned
my
Abyssal."
backstory, it says that, and you're like, "Well, is it
I've
on your
had,
character sheet?" Well,
I've had
no.
play, I've had players that have tried to do that. My character is touched by the gods. It's like, fuck off.
No, it's not.
I
Your
played
character thinks they're touched by the gods.
I played with someone who was we started at level 2 and they were a level 2 barbarian and a secret level 10 wizard.
What? Sorry, that was loud for listeners. What
So
in
did they
the
just
actual?
did they forget all their wizarding?
No, they just decided not to use it anymore. Oh, but they could use it if they wanted to at any
Oh, of
point. Like
course, yeah.
if it came up.
If it came up, they could easily just go, yeah, yeah. That's. I think that is a pitfall of backstories. Some players do try and use it to gain an advantage.
Yes, yes, they do. I use my backstories to explain why all my characters have these flaws. Um, so like, I'm gonna go to Aster for an example because like she's so well. She's a disaster.
Hmm.
She's a well-rounded disaster, but she's a fucking disaster. But like in her backstory, I wrote her as she's always suffered from like being kind of gullible. And
Hmm.
on top of being kind of gullible, she's really what's the word I'm looking for? Impulsive.
Okay.
Um she's incredibly impulsive. She has zero impulse control and it is a big fucking problem. And it
Hmm.
has been her entire life and now she's dead because of it.
Okay. So I think on that note, it is about time to call this. And Misfit, if you'd like to tell people where they can find out more about Asta, that would be brilliant.
Yes, I can. It's actually a production coming out very soon. We're releasing the first prologue this week on Wednesday. I'm hypey as fuck about it. Um, it is under Dubious Creatures Productions, which is a mouthful. I know. They're literally we have a Blue Sky, a Instagram, and a TikTok. So you can stay up to date when we're dropping episodes. We will be dropping weekly, which is
Nice.
super exciting. So you only have to wait a week for some of them cliffhangers, and let me fucking tell you, there's some cliffhangers. Bart ST has
Nice.
mastered the cliffhanger. And you can find me everywhere on the internet as Misfit underscore Playland. I will also be talking about these characters and this story. So there are two places where you can keep up to date with it. Please do, because I'm super excited. We're all really proud of the work that we have put into this production.
That's so cool.
Yeah, really looking forward to watching that. All right, Zoop, tell us
Uh,
where can people find you, what they're gonna see you in.
I have a card. You can check zoopmachine.card.co. I will update it at some point. On Monday, on Game Master Monday, Nighthawks is coming out, which is a diner where it's always Halloween. Um, and I'm very very excited about that. And also right now, I think the other big one is playing a high level campaign on D&D with D.
That's
Okay,
exciting.
As for me, you can find me at Natural One on most social media platforms. I'm not as active as I used to be, but that's why Misfit and Zoop are here, because they can do the stuff I don't want to do. Um,
Just give me access to your
but
social media and I'll do it for you. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I
don't want
was
that
nearly about to send. I was nearly about to send you my info. I was so fucking close to send you my buffer account.
We'll talk about it.
But anyway, I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined us in the chat. It's great to see you guys. We love you. I want to say thank you to the both of you for joining me this evening. It is awesome to catch up with you week after week. And I want to say thank you to the Dungeon Maestro for the use of our theme tune, all that jazz. Go check out his stuff over on YouTube. It is fucking phenomenal. And lastly, I want to say thank you to everyone who's taken time out of their busy day to listen to us waffle on about tabletop role-playing games. Thank you very much. Good night.